Hi there, thank you so much for sending in your essay and letter for correction. My name is Daphne. I'm sorry for the delay in getting this back to you, but I hope the comments will be useful. So your essay here is on international marketing. Now, unfortunately, you've written to me about international trade. Now, don't worry, because lots of people do this, but it is really important to understand what is meant by the question. So here in this international marketing, what we really want to talk about is advertising. So the big companies like Apple and Nike and Zara, and the impact that companies like that have on traditional customs and beliefs in a way. Things like Starbucks, coffee shops, which are all over the world, and how they might damage a local Indian coffee shop and people don't go there anymore. And things like Zara with the Western, spreading an idea of Western dress, which might damage the culture of wearing traditional dress to a wedding, for example, which impacts on local businesses who then can't produce the local clothes anymore. This is the sort of thing we need to be talking about here. Don't worry about it. If you get involved on the online course, which is brilliant, there is a whole module on how to answer these questions, which is really important because task achievement, obviously, is 25% of the marks. And let's look at what you've done. And obviously, it's difficult for me to give you a total view on how well you would do because of this problem of understanding, yeah? But you're writing very nicely. So globalization has changed the way trade, takes place all around the world, but few people argue that incoming of foreign companies and products has led to an invasion of the domestic market and spoiled local values. I mean, that's fabulous, really good, lovely paraphrasing of the question there. On the contrary, many countrymen believe this has opened up. Careful with few and a few. Few means not very many, but I think you want to say many believe this has opened up new avenues of economic growth. Okay, lovely. You could use this whole thing, but just talk about marketing. Literally change that word. Advertising. Change it to that, then it's okay. Protection of local players and culture. Yes, local players, or maybe local business. This is a bit more academic, and cultures has been the most concerning factor amongst people. Yeah, has concerned people most, or is concerning people most. Many believe, don't use they, stay back a little bit, that domestic producers are being challenged by cheaper international products, irrespective of the better quality of offering. Yes, again, you can use this, but you need to just reposition this essay a little bit, yeah? According to a recent survey by the World Trade Organization, around 40% small-scale domestic producers in India have had to close down their businesses, or were obliged to. They didn't want to, as they could not meet the cost of low-cost Chinese imports. Which were heavily advertised all over Facebook or something. Yeah, and then you can connect it back to the title up here. Further, they believe that open markets have exposed children to cultures of other countries, which influences their thought process is not acceptable. Yes. So maybe you can give me an example for this. You've argued this very well. It's very interesting. Maybe just a little bit more specific on that sentence there. However, through centuries, countries have promoted trade exchanges. Okay, maybe now here, if we want to link it back, you could put cultural exchanges of ideas, which is what you're doing in advertising, really, yeah? In order to survive, as none can do so in isolation. Yeah, absolutely. This is really high-level vocabulary, and I'm really impressed. It's very interesting. You're using some great Lexis vocabulary and variety of vocabulary here as well. This helps to enhance foreign inflows, which leads to job creations, increased tourism, cultural advancements, and promotion of the language. Okay, this is okay, but try and again link it back to what we want to talk about. For example, India's recently, instead of lately, increased the allowed permissible investment ratio by foreign investors. Okay, this doesn't work for talking about advertising. Yeah, that section doesn't really work, but maybe you can reword it. For what you've written, it's really, really good. Maybe you just... if you could I think it's a good idea always to do a correction. So just do a correction, and it won't take you long just to slant it, like slightly different position, and just rework that, and again relate it back to advertising. Talk about some of these big companies. Talk about people eating Chinese noodles instead of Indian food because they've seen it on an advert. Doesn't matter what example you use. In conclusion, I strongly believe international marketing, yep, helps the country flourish, yes, and make a strong name on the global map. Without collaboration, coexistence, economic, cultural, let's join it back, economic, cultural, and social, advancement will be slow and difficult. Okay, really impressive. I think it's a lovely, lovely essay. As I say, get it back on task. For the task achievement. Your coherence is very good, so what the examiner looks at, your coherence and cohesion, how it reads, how easy is it for me to follow. Now, it's easy for me to follow. You've signposted where you're going, all these connecting words, you've done that really nicely. Your grammar is really good, very high level, lots of complex sentences, which is what we're looking at, and I'm especially impressed by your vocabulary, so really, really good stuff there. The letter, okay, there's a few bits to add on this one. So, dear Mr. Peterson, it's fine. And yours sincerely is fine as well. You could put regards, because you're going to stay with them, could be a bit more friendly. So I'm writing to thank you for accepting me as a guest. Yes, that's fine. Having been born and brought up in India, I spent my whole life, I'm trying to say how old you are, I spent the first, 20 years of my life in Delhi, which is the overpopulated capital city. Yes, nice adjectives. Currently studying in college and we're coming to the UK for my summer break, during my summer break maybe. As it's my first experience out in my country, I think you should put here, I would be grateful if you could, which is a sort of fixed expression that the examiner would look for in this kind of letter. It's a letter of request. I'd be grateful if you could answer a few of my queries. Okay. Firstly, could you please tell me now about weather conditions? We don't talk about weather conditions. It's really we don't really use that. Could you tell me what the weather's like in September? Because I've heard it can rain a lot. Yeah. So should I bring an extra coat? That's the sort of thing we're looking for. Any items that are prohibited, that sounds really strange. I don't think you'd ever ask that to anybody English. Like, what do you mean? And they wouldn't really understand that. So extend this idea about the weather, going into clothes, and then you could have additionally, what is the easiest way for me to get around from city to city, as I would love to visit Oxford while I'm there? Okay? Then, coming into this bit about the airport, so your arrival, yes, maybe you could let me know the best way of getting to your house by public transport. Okay? Yeah, and then coming to this, you can provide me the answers to the above. My experience will be very smooth. Yeah, it doesn't sound very good. We talk about a smooth transition from place to place, but we don't use smooth experience. They don't go together. So we'd say that I'm sure my experience will be, my trip will be a huge success. Yeah, or my experience will be very successful. Something like that. So eagerly looking forward to this. This is very nice. So really, really good. So it's a lovely lesson. Needs a little bit of reworking just to make it sound a bit more natural. Okay. So obviously the tone in this is neutral to informal register, whereas your task 2 essay is more of an academic register. Okay. But really well done. I'm very impressed, and it will be great if you get involved in the course. That might just help you before your exam. Thank you so much.